Hello everybody!
Hi!
We're at home in our kitchen
Yes, we are.
and we're gonna make some popcorn.
What do you do when you've gone to your local grocery store and the shelves have been cleared out by people who are panic stocking things and you discover, uh-oh, I don't have any more popcorn and the store is out of my favorite brand of microwave popcorn, much less any brand of microwave popcorn. And you happen to see this lone bottle of purple popcorn on the shelf. Buy it!
And then you make it on the stove like we're about to do.
We'll show you how we make popcorn every week.
Yeah, we don't microwave it.
We don't have a popcorn popper.
We used to, but we got rid of it because we found a better way to do it.
It's the best popcorn I've ever had in my entire life.
So we're gonna show you how in our first ever episode of what we are calling
Quarantine Kitchen. I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it.
Ryan actually makes the popcorn way better than I do because he's very scientific minded. So when we started making popcorn like this, he actually did a bunch of research. So now he is in charge of the actual popping of the popcorn and I am in charge of the finishing, which just means putting butter and salt on it.
You'll need a couple of things. First, you'll need a pot. The one that we have is a stainless steel one from Costco that has a copper core to it, although any pot about this size will work. Second, you'll need some oil. We use Trader Joe's coconut oil, but any oil should work. Coconut oil is good because it has a
High smoke point.
high smoke point. It'll release a lot of moisture as the water boils off and you'll see like steam come out, but it won't burn. Third, popcorn kernels. And that's it. Light the stove to a medium heat. We don't want it to be too hot because the goal here is to get the oil up to the right temperature that the popcorn will pop, but not so high that when you put more kernels in, it'll burn it. We just want it to be at the point where the starches will steam and then they'll explode out of their casing. We don't want it to get to the point where the pot gets so hot that when the starches do expand, that the starch burns. So we're gonna add some oil. We usually add what, like 2 tablespoons-ish?
Between 1 and 2 tablespoons.
I usually eyeball it. I don't measure it. I want a thin layer of oil across the bottom of the pot because the oil is what's going to transfer the heat. Liquid is much better at transferring heat than air is. Plus, if you just have the kernel in the bottom of the pot, you have one point where the kernel's touching the bottom of the pot and it's going to be more likely to burn. The oil kind of wraps around the kernel and heats it more evenly, less chance of it burning. So we're heating up the oil. That looks like, might add a little bit more.
Ooh.
Just a little bit. Okay, should be good on oil. So now the question becomes, how hot should you get the oil? And rather than use a thermometer, we're gonna put the little canaries into the coal mine. 3 kernels into the oil and let the kernels heat up with the oil. And when the oil becomes hot enough, the kernels will pop. Then we know it's hot enough. Now we wait.
So like Ryan said, coconut oil has a higher smoke point, so that's less likely that your oil will burn in this process. But also we really like coconut oil because it has kind of a buttery sort of taste to it.
It has a coconut taste to it. Imagine that.
I actually don't really get tons of coconut. I don't think it's an overpowering coconut flavor, but it just has a rich kind of buttery flavor. And anytime we pop popcorn with a different oil, I feel like it has a different taste.
Pop! Corn not on the cob. Popping. Waiting for the last one. That's 2. There we go. All 3 are popped, so I'm turning off the heat. Heat is off, and now I'm adding popcorn. Let's see. I think I'm gonna want a little more than that.
It's probably about 3/4 of a cup of popcorn.
Yeah. It depends on the size of your pot too, because for me it's like, I don't want to waste the oil, so I put enough kernels in that it's all, you know, the bottom of the pot, it's basically like a single layer. And then we let it sit. So right now the kernels, the starches are getting up to the temperature of the oil, without any additional heat on it. So again, some of them might pop, but there's no heat coming on the bottom of the pan, so, or on the bottom of the pot, less chance it's gonna burn. You can see it, it's still popping. Like, kernels are popping because there's enough residual heat in the oil. So we're just letting those kernels come up to the same temperature as the oil, or, you know, raise in temperature, and then we'll add a little bit more heat and they should pop really nicely.
How long do you let it sit without the heat on?
30 to 45 seconds.
All right, so you listen for more kernels popping and then kind of...
Yeah, I usually just wait, and I mean, on top of that, it smells really good. Okay, turning the heat back on. Again, like a medium heat.
Medium.
Yeah.
Medium.
And now we're just bringing the temperature of the oil back up and all the kernels with it, and then they'll start popping. Because we don't, the one thing we don't want that this is really good at, because a lot of recipes they have you keep the kernels moving, which is also good for keeping them from burning. But this way, we don't have a huge heat source. There's really no way for them to burn right now because there's not enough heat in the pan, in the pot. We're bringing them up slowly. And then at the last second, we're giving them enough heat for them to pop the final amount. And then the pot's not gonna be so hot that it burns. That's the goal. You can hear them, they're popping.
So exciting.
I got a bowl out. Another important thing is as soon as they're done popping, take them out of the pot that they were popped in, because there's going to be residual heat and more chance for it to burn. So I'm going to, as soon as it's done popping, it's going into a cool bowl.
So look at you, your hands are off. You're not standing there shaking the pot.
Yep. I'm just waiting. You can hear the popcorn slowing down. Not as many are popping. I'm turning the heat off. And in it goes. So it's like the goal is get it off the heat and out of the hot pot as soon as possible. And there we go.
All right.
Cow log.
That's just the worst name. So, because we use coconut oil to pop the popcorn in, I usually only use like a tablespoon of butter. And this is pretty much the only thing we use our microwave for. And then I just need some butter and some sea salt, or we've also enjoyed it with pink Himalayan salt. And if you're vegan or trying to avoid using a lot of butter, you can also drizzle a little bit more coconut oil and maybe some salt, some cracked black pepper. There's so many things you could drizzle on popcorn. You could also do butter and then do cinnamon and sugar and have cinnamon toast popcorn. I've done that before. All right.
Not recently.
Nope. A little bit of salt. Give it a toss. I love this big bowl. It is ready to eat. Catch.